Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we're about to get started with Open Mic Live. But first, as always, a word from our sponsor.
At InDigital, we know that public safety professionals hold themselves to a high standard. In fact, standard doesn't do it justice. In over 25 years working alongside you, carrying millions of calls over our IP networks, your dedication has inspired us. That's why our ESI Net goes beyond industry standards, not only i3 compliant, but designed to adapt to future development for a network you can count on when it matters most. Learn more at indigital.net.
August 24th, 2016, the I Am 901 movement is born. One of my personal stories set the tone for this movement. What started out as a way to raise awareness for the reclassification issue for dispatchers quickly turned into peer support. 911 professionals from all over the world were sharing their stories. On Facebook alone, at that time, the engagements were over 34 million. It spawned a peer support session at conferences called Imagine Listening, where dispatchers shared their stories out loud or on paper. For years, I have been asked if this would ever become a book, coming June 2023, and available now for pre-order on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. From Titletown Publishing, Imagine Listening, Your Worst Day is Our Everyday. If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Open Mic Live. As always, this episode is sponsored by InDigital, a leader next-gen core services, and a big shout out to patrons of the podcast, as well as Facebook subscribers. Thank you all. Because I wouldn't be able to do what I do if it wasn't for all of you. So, thank you for everything. Also, if you are a patron of the podcast, and I haven't even posted this for them yet, I will be posting it out there to them. But if you're a patron of the podcast, recently, Spotify partnered up with Patreon. So any of the audio that I have on there, all of the audio episodes that I've posted that are, bonus episodes, ad-free, but also any of the audio from, I can't even think. Oh, from Open Mic Live, the audio from Open Mic Live, but also the Dispatchers Roundtable. You can now listen to all of that on Spotify, all in one place. I think you can do it with Apple Music as well. I have to check that out. So, if you don't have Spotify, either way, the app is free, right? Those who are on, who are patrons of the podcast, they're paying, a subscription for, like bonus stuff, for discounts to the store, swag, all that other shit. So, but that unlocks it, and you're able to go on there. So I'll be posting that up here soon for those. But we're going to get started here. So, it has been a couple of weeks or a week. A week. I skipped a week, okay? For TikTok, it's been a couple of weeks. But over here, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, it has there was a week that passed by. I didn't even post that I wasn't doing it because there was some stuff that I was dealing with, which we are going to be talking about here tonight. So I thank you all for being here and for your patience. Thank you for your patience with me as I took a week off just to kind of reflect and gather myself and everything. Again, I'm going to be going through this here, but it's Saturday. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty and 10 being awesome, how are you feeling? How are you doing? If I had done this last week, I would have told you that I was not even on a number, for real, because of some of the stuff we're gonna be talking about tonight. There are gonna be some, funny stories. If you have any funny 911 stories, please throw them in the comments. As always, that's what the stuff that we're gonna be talking about, as well. But, there are some other things halfway through that we're gonna be talking about and addressing, and it has to do with my friend Nicole, who recently passed away, and, a lot of us in this profession are devastated. A lot of us, that knew her and, are just devastated at her loss. Um, she lost her she lost her battle with, mental health, and, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It she took her own life. So that's some of the things we're gonna be talking about tonight, but we're gonna be reflecting on a time in before the pandemic hit, before everything went to hell. It was mid-January of 2020. It was when Nicole and I met, and I wanna talk about that time and share a few stories because the stories are funny, and then I'm gonna end with a message that she had left for, um, everyone during a presentation that she gave there at that conference. It was the Standards of Best Practice conference at NINA, but it was during the Critical Issues Forum, and, so we're gonna be talking about that here soon, but again, I wanna start out with some of the stuff that I've been doing, the past couple of weeks. I've got an anonymous audio clip of an open mic that went out there, and for those over here on TikTok, when I play it, I'll put my headphones down next to the microphone so that you can hear it. And so we'll be sharing some funny stuff, right? But then we're gonna move into some of these stories about my friend Nicole. So um, as I'm looking over here and TikTok as well, roll call, location, where are you watching from, and what's your number? And you can see my shirt, but for those over here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, I thought it was very appropriate to wear this shirt today, especially for this and what we're going to be talking about. Um, but as we're talking about roll call, I see people over here checking in, and let's see, we have we've got Chase over here from TikTok. Oh, awesome. What's going on? I'm scrolling back through so I can see everything. Let's see, Tanya over here, Southwest Georgia. Awesome, awesome. James, Jim James. Not just playing, dude. From South Jersey, coming in at a 9. Good evening. Awesome. Chase, Western Kentucky here. Awesome. Hannah, what is going on? Coming out of New England. And then Sabrina coming in at a 10. It's awesome today. She's out in Kansas. And then, so Tanya's at a 1. Okay. So I hope that, we can get that number up a little bit. But even if the number doesn't go up, it's okay because we're all here together. And, we're going to be talking about some stuff, and this stuff is okay to talk about. So hopefully we can get that number up. But again, if it doesn't, if it stays the same and we're just here talking and chilling, thank you for being here, all of you. Um, so let's see. Chase prayers. Thank you so much. Sabrina at a 6. And oh, Sabrina, when I said 10, I didn't read. Let me go back and read it again. Awesome. 110 outside today. You were giving me the temperature, dude. Yeah, that's pretty damn hot. I'm over here in Indiana, and I think it was 77, maybe? It was gorgeous. So I apologize, but it was gorgeous, man. It was very nice. It was good. Karen, what's going on, my friend? Coming out of Colorado. Angie, Canada, hello. What is going on? Um, and then, let's see, Mandy over here, hello, hello. Small town in Texas. And then James, call me what you wish, just don't call me late for dinner. I've definitely heard that one before. Let's see. Mandy says I'm sitting at like a 2. It's been crazy here at the center the last 2 weeks and outside the center too. Well, you as well. I hope we can get that number up. And even if it doesn't go up, we're here together. Okay, we're here together, and we're going to be talking about all of this stuff. But yes, let's start out with some stories here. I posted episode 506. Let me say this really quick. I posted episode 506. This was a reissue of episode 305. This is the episode that I recorded with my friend Nicole. It was the day that we met, and we were sitting in the like Starbucks like lobby area of the hotel where this conference was at. So you can hear people in the background talking and stuff. And not that I think about it, I think there were some folks that were talking close to us that were just like talking shit. And I I think I had to edit a little bit, like some of the background noise, like try to bring it down so that you couldn't hear it. But either way, the audio came out good with the both of us because of the microphones, the way we had them set up and everything. And I'll talk about this here soon. But 506 went out, and the reason I did 506 with 305 in there, an episode within an episode, is because I wanted to be able to. I mean, there was 200 episodes ago, about 200 episodes, and with everything that has happened, I wanted people to hear it again because it's an important episode. And for those who don't go from, the beginning to now or anything like that, or who are simply listening from the newest one on, I wanted to be able to share Nicole's story. Again, it's a powerful one. And episode 507 will be coming out for subscribers here in the next few days. There's going to be more clips and everything going out. One more really quick thing to mention before we get into all of this. And Chase, I got a story that my friend's mom told us. Okay, throw that in the comments. If it's a super long one, um, it'll cut it off. Like there's a character limit, but we can get it out there. So throw it in the comments and I will read it. And I'm excited because a lot of times when people are sharing 911 stories or ones that they've heard from others, they could go either way. Especially, because this is open mic. So this is more of the lighthearted, funnier stories that we share. So please throw that in the comments and then I will read that here soon. So last or a couple things here, and then I'm also going to be reading stories and everything, but I just wanted to mention really quick. Imagine listening. A bunch of you have gotten your books, and thank you so much for the reviews. If you haven't added a review to Amazon, when you finish the book, please do. I appreciate it. It helps out a lot. And I have a stack of books here at my home that I'm going to be adding to the store in the next couple days, and they're $5 more than they usually are like on Amazon. But the reason for that is because these are going to be personalized signed. So a lot of people have asked, Is there a way that I can purchase a book that's actually signed already? Yes. And this is how it's going to happen. I'm going to add this to my online store with the books that I have, and they will be personalized and signed to you. So look out for that. That's going to be coming up here again, like I said, in the next few days. So I know National APCO was a couple weeks ago, but I'm saying that I'm fresh back, you know? I'm fresh back because I was only home for a day and a half, and I flew out again um, for work. I flew out again for work. So that's what I've had going on, and I'm back for like 3 weeks now, and then I end up going to Ohio to do an 8-hour class, which I'm so excited to do and to take to other centers to do as well. But I wanted to share this really quick. So when I got home, just a couple days ago, it was after midnight. So technically, really, I got home. It was Friday. Okay, it was Friday at like 12:30 a.m. or something. And in the morning, I was sitting in bed, and I heard my daughters. They were awake, and I wanted to get them to come into the room because their mom had told me that they were excited that I was going to be home. So this is what I did. I played a song, and it's a song that we love and that we sing. And the song is called Starman, and it's by David Bowie. Now, recently, the movie Lightyear came out, and that song was part of their trailer. So we were listening to it even more so because of that. So what I did was I played the song, but I turned it up almost all the way on my phone at the chorus. And the chorus says, "There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He told us not to blow it." So as this is happening, my daughters run into the room and they jump into the bed and they give me hugs and everything, which was such a good moment. And and my youngest daughter just starts singing the song with me. Now, there's a part in there that David Bowie ends up saying, "Let the children lose it, let the children use it." What's funny though is that when we were first listening to it, we were joking about it. We were joking about those two lines because it sounds like he says, "Give the children nougat." So so now whenever we listen to the song, that's how we sing it. "Give the children nougat, give the children nougat, and all the children boogie." It was such a fun moment, and I wanted to share that with you guys because, um, for Open Mic Live, we share the lighthearted stories, whether it be 911 stories or personal stories, and that was just it was just a cool thing, and just to have them run in and us immediately just start singing the song, again, they were giving me hugs and stuff. They're like, "You're back." I was like, "Yes, yes, yes, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back." And so it was really cool. Um, Looking back over here at the comments, um, Sabrina says, "My dispatchers have taken my book hostage." Well, I mean, that's good. I'm glad that they're enjoying it then. Let's see. Chase says she took a 911 call from a 21-year-old kid, and the cops that responded, one of the cops was the father of the kid, and the kid later graduated the United States Air Force Academy and is now active duty in the Air Force. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That is really cool. At first I I wasn't sure where it was going at first because you were saying that it was, one of the cops father, one of the cops was the father of the kid because or and whatever else was going to happen. And the reason I say that though is because I'll share a story with you as well. So And this isn't like this wasn't, one of the officer's kids. It was actually just um me. A lot of times I was the person who just happened to be the one who was sitting on backup phones and radios, and the officers would go out to a noise complaint, okay? They would go out to a noise complaint, and it turned out that the noise complaint was an underage party. So, officers get out there, right? Officers get out there, and, they have me go to a different channel, and they're like, "So, we need you to make a phone call to some of these parents and come and pick them up." Damn it. Like, I'm the one who has to do it? Okay. So, one of them that I remember specifically, wait, LOL, no more drugs or drinking, kids. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, this one, I remember, the officer telling me this. I'm like, "Okay, so I've got the number." And in the back of my mind, right, I'm like, "Don't answer. Don't answer the phone." Because the officers were gonna end up taking them home anyway if the parents didn't answer. So for me, it was, was it a Karen? Oh, I maybe. Maybe. So, I remember the phone ringing and ringing and ringing, and I'm just thinking, "Okay, I'm not gonna have to do this. Hello, can I help you?" Shit. Like, damn it. Like, it had been ringing enough that I was gonna hang up and say to the officer, like, "Nobody answered." Nope. As I'm getting ready to hit the button, "Hello? Hello, can I help you?" I'm like, "Shit." I didn't say shit. I didn't say shit. At least I hope I didn't. I don't think I did. But it was one of those, like, pucker moments where I was like, "Damn it." Like, okay. Yes. Hello, this is, Ricardo with Allegan County 911, and, we've got some officers out at a residence, and they wanted me to give you a call, and I hear, "What has he done now?" And I'm like, ah," 'cause that's not what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting for them to, like, immediately go to that, right? I wasn't expecting for them to be like, "Just tell me. Just tell me. What has he done now?" And I said, "Well, I need you to go out to such and such address because is there an underage party going on there?" Actually, yes. Yes, there is. Is our kid intoxicated? Like, that I can't tell you. I don't know. That I do not know. The officer just wanted me to call you to have you head out there to pick up your kid. And they're like, "Okay." And I hear in the background the other parent like, "I knew it." So I hang up with them. They're like, "We're on our way." I'm like, "Okay." I hang up with them and then just boop, central to, whatever unit. The parents are on their way. Yeah. So I remember having to be the one to do it, and, I remember feeling like an asshole. I was like, "Man, what a narc." But it was good, of course. Who knows? Who knows what else was going on out there, and, you wanna make sure that everybody is safe. So, no matter how I felt about it, I was doing my job, and everybody was going out there to get their kids, but, man, having to be the messenger sometimes, it just kinda sucks because 'cause I'm like, "Well, what else can you do, right? What else can you do?" Oh, man. Let me look back over here really quick. James says, "I swear my daughter had a laser-guided knee right for my lower region as she would dive into our bed in the morning and got me every time." Doesn't that yeah, I've had that happen a couple times where my kids would jump into the bed and just be like, "Poof," and I'm like, "Oh," and they're like, "Are you okay?" And all I could do is just, "Yep, I'm okay." Like, "Your voice is so high." It's usually really deep. Like, "Well, you hit me. You hit me." Looking at Mandy over here, my kids make me smile. I love to be walking by the bathroom and my son be in there singing away in the shower. Yeah. Yeah, that is always fun. Let's see, Chase over here. Glad it was not my grandma or grandpa or my mom or dad or anyone in my family. I would have gotten my butt spanked. And that's an interesting thing, right? Because especially with grandparents. I'm not talking about parents. I'm talking about your grandparents. Because with your grandparents, you know, they're like super sweet and everything, right? But man, if you fuck up or just messing around or whatever, man, they'll let you have it. Now, I will say this, okay? I will say this. My dad, um, my dad didn't know his dad. So I didn't know my grandfather on that side. And then on my mom's side, um my grandfather died, I think, like 3 years before I was born, so I didn't know my grandfathers, but my grandmothers, dude, super nice, super sweet, one nicer and sweeter than the other, I'll say that, but the sweeter of the 2, don't mess around, man. I'll tell you 2 stories really quick. And there's stories that I've shared before, but because we're on the topic, um, I definitely I wanna share it because it's funny. And, so this first one, I'm trying to remember how old I was now, maybe like 12 or something, and my brother was like 6 at the time, and so we're outside, right? We're outside, and we're playing on this willow tree, and our grandmother kept telling us. Now, this is the grandmother that I made, an I Am 901 story about. When she passed away, I took that phone call. Um, but super nice, super sweet granny. She had an amazing sense of humor, and I feel like that's where I get it from, is from my grandma. Plus, she had a dark sense of humor and would throw it out there sometimes, and I'd be, "What?" Like, "That came out of you?" And it was she always made life so much fun and, was a great storyteller, and, all of this I know I get from her. But this day, my little brother and I are being little shits. Straight up, I'll just say it. We're being shits, okay? So what we got, we deserved it, okay? Sabrina over here says, "My grandfather was a cop, so I tried everything not to get in trouble. Didn't want the hammer coming down from him." I feel you. I feel you. Hold on. Mandy says, "Imagine this dead silent in the center, and all of a sudden a radio keys up, and you hear you're a butthole over the radio. Officer calls and says, 'Sorry, my damn kid got a hold of the radio.'" Uh, yes. That's awesome right there. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That is good. Oh, man. Kids, right? Shit happens. Shit happens and you don't you just go with it. There's nothing else you can do. You might as well just fess up, right? So, my brother and I are being little shits. My grandmother, because at the time, we didn't have, like, a washer and dryer or anything, and actually, maybe we had the washer, we just hadn't at this time purchased the dryer yet, or maybe we were waiting for it. I don't remember for sure. However, um, my grandmother is putting towels out on a line, and this is by that willow tree, okay? And she's telling us over and over and over, get down, you're gonna fall. And then it was to the point where she's like, I'm gonna tell your parents when they get here. And we're still like, just being stupid. Still all over the tree. And then something changed. Granny lured us in. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She lured us in. It's like with a toddler or even a pet when you're like, oh, look what I got. Look what I have. And you're, oh, what? I want to see. I want to see. That is basically how it went down. Because she goes, come here and check this out. And we're like, oh, okay. All right. So we both climb down off of this willow tree and we go to see what Granny has. Granny didn't have anything. What she asked us for was to grab a switch. And we were not paying attention because we were blinded by the light, literally, at the spectacle of whatever Granny had, because she's like, come here, check this out. And she goes, look at this. She goes, that is like, she's telling this in Spanish. She's like, this is really cool. Like, check this out. And she has me grab one off. So I grab one. Well, I go to grab one. And it's a thicker one. And she goes, no, grab that one over there. And it was a thinner one. See, again, I'm blinded by the light. I have no idea what is going on here. Granny lured us in. So I grabbed that thinner switch off. And she's like, let me see it. And she snags it. Sauce. She nailed the both of us right in the area of our shins, on her legs, man. And she's yelling at us in Spanish. She's like, I told you not to get on that tree, and I told you, and you're not listening. And because I just remember that doesn't even do it justice, but it was just like a sob, like really fast to me, and I'm like, ow, ah. and my little brother as well, and we're like, but we deserved it. We deserved that shit. And it wasn't really hard. It was loud. It sounded like it was obnoxious, right? But if you've ever been snagged with one of those thin switches, it doesn't take but a little bit of force to be like, whoosh. And we were just like, oh my God. Dude, it was hilarious. I mean, it's hilarious to talk about it now. And I remember bringing it up as an adult, and she's like, that didn't happen. You know, all smiling and shit. It was so funny, man. So, hold on, let me look back over here. See, I have a video that I have from 9 years ago where they had spike strip, and the car almost hit me, and I was on a bike. Holy crap. I'm glad you're okay. And then, oh, wait, again, Chase says, did you get the shoe? Oh, dude, there was one time. The chancla. Yes, the shoe. I did. She did throw one at me, man. And oh, she had the aim. Let me tell you, that aim was damn. Let's see. Mandy says fear in all caps. Oh, wait, over here is Amanda T became the number 3 member on the team. Oh, sweet. Welcome to the team. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to look it up. I haven't been on TikTok enough live to look at all that other stuff. So that's pretty badass. Thank you very much and welcome. Thank you for being here and adding all the hearts. We got over 200 likes already. Thank you, TikTok. Let's see. Yes. Yeah, over here, how how about the wooden spoon? I never got the wooden spoon. I Okay, hold on a minute. It wasn't actually a wooden spoon. Okay, hold on. I'll tell that story here in just 1 second. Hold on, because now that I think about it, I'm like, that was the second story. So hold on here. Mandy says in all caps, "Fear. Grab a switch. Always tried to grab the small ones, thinking it wouldn't hurt, but they were the worst." Yes, yes, and also I remember my dad telling us, and at this time, he and my mom, their bedroom was in the basement. So where their room was, it was directly underneath. Um, it was directly underneath the living room, and that's where they were sitting, or that's where he would be sitting, and oh, I'm reflecting now, hardcore. This is so funny. But I remember one time getting in trouble and my dad, says, "Go get the belt." Okay, now here's the thing. I go downstairs. Now, if you know some of my stories already, you know that basement was haunted. The house was haunted. It used to be uh, a funeral home, okay? Used to be a funeral home at one time. So, in the bedroom part, like, again, underneath the living room where my dad was at telling me, "Go get me the belt." I go downstairs and I'm looking at the belts. One side was all of these small belts, and the one on the left was a real thick leather belt with this huge belt buckle. And I remember I'm staring at them and I'm looking through some of the smaller ones. I'm like, okay, maybe this one." And then I hear him yell from the top, "Get the big one." And I would get the big one, and I'm walking upstairs, taking my time, taking my sweet ass time, and then I get to him and he takes it from me and he goes, "Don't do that again." Whatever it was that I was being a shit about. I don't know, whatever it was. It was just that that fear. And I've talked to him about it as an adult, and he just starts laughing. He's like, "I wasn't ever gonna hit you guys with it. It was just, that discipline, that little bit of fear." He goes, "Sometimes I would have to hold back from laughing because I know that you're taking your time to walk down there because I did the same thing as a kid." So, we're reliving this, and I'm just sitting there listening to him like, "Okay, all right, you're getting a kick out of this?" But it is funny because knowing my dad, so if you remember that '70s show, the dad, Red, that's my dad. My dad is the Mexican Red. That's what makes it so much more funny. Alright, so story 2 with my grandma. I'm in my 20s now, okay? I'm in my 20s, and I'm at my mom's house, and this was in Florida before she ended up moving back to Michigan, and I'm there, and my grandmother is cooking something, okay? She's cooking dinner. And I walk up and snag a tortilla, and I'm just standing there talking with her and just laughing and stuff. And then I poked her on her side, and she's like, "Oh," she's like, "Don't do that again." And wait, Christy says, "I'd love to meet Mexican Red." Let me tell you, he is hilarious. Oh, he's a crack up, man. I've done a couple open mics with him on there, and the shit that he has said, I'm like, "Okay, that's our time. Thank you." So I poke my grandma on her side, and she's like, "Do not do that again." Like, we were laughing, right? But she's like, "Don't do it again. I'm cooking, and I don't wanna burn myself." And she's like, "Okay, I'm not gonna burn myself, but just don't do it again." I'm like, "Okay, I won't." And we're talking, I do it again, and she's like, "I I told you don't do it again." And she's laughing, right? As this is happening, she's laughing. So, of course, I'm gonna do it one last time. So we're talking, and she keeps looking at me, and she goes, "Don't do it." She goes, "I can feel you. I know you wanna do it again. Don't do it." And we continue talking, and pop! I got her again on her side, but as I get her, she somehow flips the spatula from her left side to the right side and pop! Nails me on my arm. And I pull my arm back and I went, and she goes, "I told you. I told you. Te dije, te dije." And I'm laughing as I'm rubbing my arm, and she's laughing too, but also yelling in Spanish, "I told you." She's like, "Te dije, te dije." And she's like, "Do it again. Ándale, ándale." She's like, "Go ahead. Go ahead." Oh my god. Grandma, I miss you so much. Holy shit. Those were fun times, man, and that's why I wanted to share them as we were talking about this, because that shit is funny. Um, Let me look back over here in the comments really quick. I've got a short audio clip that I'm gonna play, and then we're gonna transition, okay? So, Christy over here says, "I carried a wooden spoon in my purse, and my kids knew. I just gave them a look, looked at my purse, and like magic, they all of a sudden remembered how to behave." So in public, instead of my dad saying, "Do you want to get spanked?" He would say, "Do you want a happy birthday?" And we knew. I don't know where he came up with that. It was the funniest shit. Oh, wait, over here on TikTok, not the wooden spoon. Yeah. So my dad would say, he would say that. We would be in public and we would be, being little shits or whatever. And, my siblings and I, and he would go, "You guys need to settle down right now." Like, "Okay, okay, no, we're sorry. You don't want a happy birthday, do you?" And we're like, "Nope, nope." Or in a subtle way, it would just be this. And we knew, we're like, "No, we're good." And I can remember like a handful of times that, my parents like spanked us or whatever, but it was never like anything really. It was like a pat, for us to be like, "Oh." It was always us. They were just like being more dramatic than what it actually was. And I'm sure my parents probably are like like trying not to laugh. So I remember one time being at a restaurant and we were acting up and we were all sitting in this booth and my dad goes, "Do you want a happy birthday?" And at that moment, our server is walking up and she goes, "Oh, is it your birthday?" And we're like, "No." In my head, I'm like, "No, lady. No, that's code for, do you want to get spanked?" And that's something I'll never forget, man. Over here on TikTok, it says, I just say, "Do we need to take a walk?" to my daughter. My mom used sign language on me though. See? Those are It's just a little subtle way of saying, "You need to settle down, okay? Chill out." Over here on TikTok again. "See, we just got the mom voice. Hey!" Yeah, that happy birthday thing. Whoa. But it was so funny, man. Oh, shit. Let me read this over here really quick. Sabrina says, "My mom used to tell us stories about my grandfather using the tree switch on them, but he would make them peel the bark off until it was green." What? One of my grandmas had a huge, thick paddle with 3 holes. Oh, yeah. No resistance there. Aerodynamic, just pop. Yes. Oh my lord. Let's see, over here, it says, "I could always tell how irritated my mom was by how fast her hands went." Oh my god, that is great. Ah. That's why I love doing this with all of you, because this is so much fun, we're getting these, stories out and everything, and, we're gonna get into some heavier stuff here in a moment. I usually do the heavier stuff first, and then, just like Imagine Listening, the session that I do, we start out emotionally intense, and then we end with some funnier stuff, but we're doing this backwards because this is not an Imagine Listening session, this is open mic, and, there's still gonna be some, it won't be heavy, 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 but it's stuff that we need to talk about. It's stuff that I wanted to talk about tonight. So let me switch the audio here really quick. Oh wait, over here. Before I forget, are you going to be in Indy for the APCO conference next month? I am. I'm talking with them, and we're trying to figure that out. But I'm hoping to be there. Yes. Um, but yeah, we'll get that figured out, and as soon as we do, I'll be posting about it as well. And thank you, TikTok. 1,000 likes. Yes, I appreciate it more than you know. Mandy over here says, "I hope our kids have things like this. Can you imagine what they would say about us?" Oh, I know, right? Yeah. Let's see. Amanda says, "Were you at the Tennessee conference?" Um, Not the state specific one. Actually, I don't know if that one has happened yet, actually, but the national one, the national APCO one that was in Nashville. Yes, I was there all week for that one. I was there. Um, so let me switch the audio here really quick so that you can hear this. And this was sent in anonymously. This was an open mic, so I want to share it here really quick before we transition over. And yes, we're gonna go over a little bit, but it's okay. Oh, Christy says, "I don't think I want to know what my kids would say." Yeah. You might have run into my director there again. Probably. I probably did. Most likely, yes. All right, here we go. So the person, if I read this right, um, the person was doing one thing in their CAD, and he ended up saying, "Son of a bitch." But when the person noticed that the mic was actually open, that's where the F bomb comes in. That is so funny, man. I'm gonna play it again here because it's like it's only a few seconds, but now that you know of what was going on as well. So here we go again. And that's how it happens. It just happens like that sometimes. Over here, Amanda says, "I have massive anxiety about open mic." Yeah, because when it happens, oh, you didn't hear it? It didn't come over? Oh, weird. It should have come over. I don't think I can download it either. Dang it. Okay, well, those over here, or you know what? Let me try to play it again and actually put the headphones to this microphone. And oh, okay. So over here on TikTok, people heard it. Over here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, you did not hear it. So hold on just one moment. And oh my God, my mom is on here right now. Hi, mom. And I'm about to play this. Oh crap. I love you, mom. I love you. And there's a fly in here too. Anyway, all right. Let me see if I can do it this way. Otherwise, I'll have to save it for everybody else for later. But I'm gonna try to so the audio is gonna come out of my headphones and it's gonna go into this microphone here. So hopefully you can hear it. Hopefully it doesn't cause some weird echo or something. So hold on one second. Oh, no. I don't know. I don't think it'll work. Okay. Could you guys hear it that time over here, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter? I would say you might have heard like a didn't hear anything. Damn. Oh, well, we'll have to play it a different time. I'll save it. So if the person who sent this to me is watching, email it to me. Email it to me because it'll be easier to do it that way, and then I can play it through because I can't actually download it or anything from where it was sent to me. And actually, if you want to, yeah, email it to me and I can play it next week as well. But it's only 12 seconds long and it's funny. It was funny. So we'll leave it for next time. So I apologize. But um it it is a funny one. And mom, I'm sorry. But it's an open mic and it is funny. So like I said, we're gonna go over a little bit, and I want to transition over here to talk a little bit more about what had happened. Um, so as I said, I I haven't been on open mic. I didn't do it last week, and it just didn't feel right. But I wanted to do it this week. I've had time to process. I mean, I'm still kind of processing a little bit, but not the way it was before. I mean, like I mentioned in the beginning, I didn't even post anything last week saying that I wasn't going to do it. And I had told myself, make sure to do it. And I didn't because I was basically in my head. So a couple of weeks ago at National APCO, on I think it would have been on a Tuesday, in the morning, a lot of us in the profession, a lot of us that were there at that conference, um, found out that a good friend of ours, Nicole, had passed away. She had taken her life, and everyone was, and still now, it's devastated by this loss. Um, and I want to share something here on the screen really quick. And for those who are over here on TikTok, it's a picture of Nicole and I. This is where it's going to get a little hard, so please bear with me. And a lot of us were just going through this week, or that week rather, during that time, just whoa, you know, um, trying to work through everything. There were a lot of people that they found out and had to speak right after that, and having this news and not having the time to process or anything, that I can only imagine how hard that was. Um, but all I can really say right off the bat is Nicole was a great human being, man. And this picture here on the screen is from 2020. It was mid-January, and this is where I was talking about we were in this like Starbucks lobby area of the hotel where the conference was being held. Again, this is 2020. This is a couple months or month and a half, something like that, before everything went to hell, before everything shut down for the pandemic. And this is where we met. Now, before us meeting, she had sent me an email, and she had said, she was telling me about herself and that she was going to be at this conference, and she was putting together her speech that she was going to be giving. She was going to be giving a presentation talking about her PTSD story and her dispatch story. and that she wanted to use some of the I Am 911 stories and if it was okay. And I said, hell yes. I was like, I'm very excited to meet you for one and to have you on the show and to hear your presentation. So we met at this conference and we're sitting there. As you can see, in the picture, I've got my laptop, we've got the couple microphones, and we did it right there. And I learned so much about her and her mission to share her story so that people just wouldn't feel alone because that's how she had felt for a long time when she was in dispatch towards the end of that first stint and then leaving and then coming back and was wanting to be, an advocate, which she was a big advocate for dispatch and mental health and wellness. And this conference, the Standards and Best Practices conference that Nina was putting on, this one specifically, their Critical Issues Forum, had to do with just that, mental health and wellness and dispatch. And there were a lot of people that were going to be speaking, and I was most excited for Nicole's presentation. So we go through the episode, which it was episode 305. I talked about this in the beginning already. It was episode 305, but I just recently reissued it as episode 506 so that those who are kind of starting at where the newest episodes are will get a chance to hear her story because it's definitely an important one. And I remember, so there's going to be some funny stuff that is in here as well, some of the stories. So I remember at the end of this episode, there was somebody that was standing there that was just wanting to come in and break up what we were doing. And I kept telling her, because when you have the headphones on and you have the microphones, you can whisper, and people can't really hear what we're saying because we're talking so low, but in the headphones, you can hear each other fine. So she's like, "What the hell's going on?" And I said, "Don't move. Just keep like kind of talking with me." And so we're just staring at each other as this is happening. And it was hilarious. But it sounds, and I said this in the episode because I recorded an intro for it, but it sounds shitty, right? But it's not, because this person was just trying to butt in, like they didn't care. All they cared about was their introduction. And I was not going to let this person break up this moment that Nicole and I were having there. That was this special moment of her sharing her story with me. And so we just kept looking at each other, and I was like, we're just going to keep talking. The episode's done, but we're just going to keep talking. We're just going to keep talking like this. We're not even really talking about anything, but we're just going to keep going. And we're trying not to laugh. And the person eventually leaves, and we're just sitting there. And I will always have that memory. I will always have that. We quickly became, good friends there because we were both in that same mindset where we didn't want it to end, but also because we were trying to get that person to move on, and not break up what we were doing. And I remember her telling me how how nervous she was for the session that she was going to do. She's like, "There's gonna be tons of people there, and I'm just nervous." And I was telling her, "You're gonna be great. You're gonna be great." I said, "Everyone is here to hear your story, and this is an important one because this is what we're talking about, and it's something that we should continue to be talking about." And and we end up going from there. Um, we end up going from there, and there was a couple things that we all had to catch up on, and then we end up in the main room where we're going to be, and I got to sit right up front. And I remember she had said, I wish that, there was a way that I would be able to share this presentation later on or something, and, because I'm gonna be doing this, and I said, "Well, I'm gonna be sitting right up front." I said, "I've got my phone with me. I can film it for you. I can record it." And she goes, "That would be great. Yeah, if you don't mind, that would be awesome." So, I'm all for it. I'm sitting there right up front, and she's up there, and, I remember and, right before she started, she's saying she has the microphone, she's kind of far from the microphone, and she goes, "I see you guys telling me that I need to get closer," or like and because you could hear her, but you couldn't hear her because of how far she was from the microphone. So she adjusted it, and she ends up saying, "So, if for some reason, I back up, just throw me a like this, and then I'll know that I need to talk more into the microphone." And it was so funny. She was so animated and comical in that way that you knew that what you were about to see was also going to be genuine. And that is exactly how she was. Genuine. A real person, man. There was no hiding. Um she had been through a lot, and she wasn't hiding it anymore. She wanted to share her story. Fuck. And she went through and did all of it and did such an amazing job. And I just remember the feeling in the room. It was powerful. And she got that chance. She got that chance to share her story. And she also, did photography and everything as well, and was doing um she had this little project that she was starting that was turning into not so little anymore. It was a bigger thing where she was taking pictures of first responders and kind of sharing their stories, and it was such a cool thing. And there was a lot that she was doing. She was even part of the PTSD 911 documentary. She had a part in that, and there were so many things that she was doing as an advocate for 911. And I don't know what she was going through towards the end there, and I'm sorry. I wish I did know, and I know a lot of us wish that we were, I guess, better friends in the sense that we would have been reaching out more, and a lot of us did. We did have conversations and stuff, but damn it, I wish I knew more. But one of the things, every time we talked, especially with sharing her story and that presentation that she did that first time there at the Critical Issues Forum, her mission was for people to hear her story and for people to not feel alone. And damn it, that's what we're going to do. We're going to continue sharing your story, Nicole. And you're already making a difference. And you were the whole time. And I hope that you found that peace that you were looking for, that you fully didn't have here. but we're gonna continue this fight. So after that presentation, some funny stuff here now. Bear with me. So after her presentation, later on, we end up going to this spot in Austin because that's where this conference was. It was in Austin, and there's an area just down from like downtown, and there's this bridge there, and there was a group of us that went. And the reason we went, and I believe someone had told Nicole about this, and she told us about it, and we're like, "Shit, let's go. This would be a cool thing to go see." So, under this bridge are tons of bats, okay? And we'd been told that if you go at a certain time, that all of these bats end up flying out. Like, right as it's getting dark, all of these bats fly out. So we were there forever waiting. And I remember we were laughing and just, "What are we doing?" Like, it's what we were saying. But we wanted to see this because it sounded like such a spectacle, man, to have all of these bats just fly out and, maybe see Nosferatu or Dracula, you know? Of course, that wasn't gonna happen, but it sounded like a cool thing, and then some locals passed by, and they end up saying, "What are you guys all doing here?" Because it wasn't just us, there was a bunch of people that were there, and they must have been tourists too, and and we told them why, and they go, "You're too late, that happens more in the fall time, it's already mid-January," and we're like, "Ah, damn it." But we waited, though, a little bit longer just in case, and it never happened. Like, you could see them under there kinda moving around, and then you could hear almost like a like sound, and we were like, "Oh, it's gonna happen," and it never did. It never happened. So we ended up leaving, and we went to a barbecue place for dinner, and I believe the name was Cooper's, and I remember Nicole and I were at the very end of the line, and, we're joking that we're gonna end up getting the meat sweats. And we get up there and she got a bunch of food, and then I end up saying to the guy, "Yeah, hook me up with a couple ribs, give me some turkey, some chicken or whatever." And he goes, "Bro, we do this by the pound." And I was like, "Oh, well, give me half pound of each." And he's just kind of looking at me, and Nicole looks at me too, and she goes, "Dude." And I said, "I want to try it. I want to try all of this because it looks and smells so good." So I did. And we go up to the second floor, and we're sitting at this long table, our group that we're with. And I'm sitting next to Cole, and we're just destroying our food. And I almost finished it all, but we sure as shit ended up getting the meat sweats. And it was like all here. And I remember both her and I were just, "Oh my God, like that. What the hell?" So it was a good distance from the hotel where the conference was at. So and we were walking. We were on foot. No Uber, no nothing. We were on foot. And yes, Amanda over here on TikTok, definitely worth it. So worth it. So we're on foot, so we're thinking it'll be fine. We'll walk off most of what we ate. But then we come up to a Voodoo Donuts, and Nicole wanted to go in, and I said, "Are you gonna get a donut?" And she goes, "I think so. Like, I'm too full, but I can't pass it up." And I was like, "Dude, I'm with you. So we went in and we got donuts, and I got some coffee because I don't know why I thought this, but I thought, maybe the coffee will bring down the meat. Maybe it'll cut through it, which didn't. I mean, it helped a little bit, but then I was awake for most of the night. So we had that. And we got back to the hotel, and those are memories that I'll always have. Some good memories. Oh, Danielle. Oh my God, such dispatcher logic. Yes, exactly. Definitely dispatcher logic. But I'll never forget that. And also every conversation, like I said, that we had after that. They were good conversations. And thank you, Nicole, for coming into my life and being genuine, being a great human being, and sharing your story for all of us. And I just feel grateful and honored that we met. I'm going to miss you. But I have these memories. And I know that one day you and I are going to have barbecue again. And I'm sure we're going to get meat sweats again as well. And we're going to laugh about it. Just watch over us as we continue this fight. I want to share something with all of you. And for those over here on TikTok, I'm going to have to put my headphones onto the microphone so that you can hear it. But for those who are watching, you should be able to hear this. I want to share this with all of you. And Roxy, meat sweats in heaven have to be a thing. Yeah. Yes, if anything for the reflection, right? If anything for the reflection of that time. So I want to play something for you. And it's from that day. It's from her speech. And this is the last maybe minute and a half, 2 minutes of it. Because it was about an hour long. But this is just the last part. I want you to hear this because it's important.
I know I didn't really get to touch much on, all right, so how do you guys make these changes? And really, to simplify, it all comes down to start normalizing PTSD. Start talking about it in your centers, make yourselves aware of what the resources are that are available, but honestly, just be there for your people, because that loneliness really, really sucks. And that's, I was asked today, what's your mission? And it is, you are not alone. You're not alone. This is all normal. It's normal. We need to start talking about it more. And so this quote that I found that really applies to here is by Carl Jung, and it says, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." And I can't think of something better that applies to all of us as we're here advocating and meeting and discussing how we want to make our profession a better place. And so I hope in me sharing my story today with you guys that will help bring about some kind of change in your own centers.
So that was the end part of her presentation, and she got a standing ovation, man. And there were questions and everything after that. Uh, but damn, it was a very powerful one, and I'm going to upload the entire presentation so that everybody can watch it. I remember when I was done and I talked to her and I told her how good that was, and she's like, "I did it." And I said, "Yeah, you did." I said, "You did it, and that was so important, and it's going to live on." And she's like, "I hope so." And um I sent her that recording, and I remember her saying, "Hopefully it'll do something for people," and it's going to. It's gonna be up there free for everybody to watch. But I will tell you this, and it'll be, and this is kind of something funny as we're going into this wrap up, and I'm trying to hold it together here. When I ended up boosting the audio so that so you could hear her better, I was watching it, and I got a hold of her and I said, "Okay, I sent you the original and you can do with it whatever you want." And I had, the other, the main copy I had in the cloud, and she downloaded it. But this is what I told her. I said, "So the whole time I was sitting there, Nicole, I was sitting there like this with the phone, trying to hold it as steady as possible. And I think I did pretty good." And she's like, "Oh, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did." And I said, however, it moves every so often because I started getting a cramp in my arm." And you can see when I switch hands to make, like, put more weight on it. So, the presentation itself is perfect, but because I'm sitting there holding on to my phone is steady as I can, when you watch it, you might have to turn for a moment because you might get a little queasy because it moves just so slightly. And I told her this and she's like, "It's fine. It's fine." And I said, "I know. It's just I wanted it to be perfect." And she goes, "It will be. It will be." And I remember she watched it and she just loved it. And we were laughing though because she goes, "I did see what you were telling me. I did notice that it would move so often because you were changing hands." Oh man. Ah, but I can't wait for all of you to see it. Um, I was pretty sure it was uploaded to Nina's website. I don't know where it is, but I'll upload it so that everybody can watch it because it's such a powerful story. Yeah, there's the podcast episode, but this one was specifically about this portion of her story, and there's a lot to it. But I do have to warn you, and before I upload it, I'm going to add a warning to it because there's some audio that is on there that is pretty tough to hear. But also it's there's video that's shown on there as well. So on the podcast episode, you hear that audio, and we give a warning before that audio plays. But during the presentation, there's video that goes along with it. So there will be a warning, just for what you're about to see. But again, this is an important story. And we're just going to keep working at this, and we have each other. So I want to thank you all for being here and for open mic. I know that this was the ending of this was a little more deep, but this is important. And if we can't talk this way with each other, then just plain out say it. We're fucked. Okay? We need to be able to talk to each other and not be afraid or ashamed or feel ashamed, anything like that. That's right, JC. There is no stopping. We're going to keep doing this, and we have each other. And Nicole's story will continue and will help others. Just because you're not here with us doesn't mean that your mission has ended. Your mission continues, and you have all of your brothers and sisters of gold. So again, thank you all for being here. I got to wrap this up because I'm gonna. Oof. After this, I'm going downstairs because my daughters and I are gonna have a video game night. We're gonna have a game night and just eat junk food and shit and just play games, and it's gonna be awesome. So again, thank you all for being here and for supporting each other. I hope your numbers went up. My number coming in today was like an 8. It's been a great day, and now it is, even though we talked about some harder stuff, it is way above a 10. And I am so glad to be here with all of you. And damn it, if you are feeling a certain way, please reach out. And if you haven't heard from someone in a little while, reach out as well. We only have each other. We have each other to get through this and to support each other. So thank you. Be there. As always, the live broadcasts are sponsored by InDigital. Thank you very much to patrons of the podcast and subscribers. If you have any comments, questions, or you ever want to be a guest on the flagship show, you can email us, and that's going to be wttpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that is wttpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on social media. You can become a subscriber of the podcast. All of that can be done at links.co/WTT podcast. That's links with 2 i's.co/WTT podcast. You can find me there. This can be seen on TikTok, on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitter. And you can listen to the flagship show 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Have a good one, everyone. And until that day, my friend, we will see each other again. Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you in the next one.